Hello legends. In this video, I want to introduce you to the AI Image Studio build-out in n8n that comes complete with two distinct teams, where Team 1 can generate brand new images and content, and Team 2 can edit existing images. So to give you an idea of what both of these teams can do, Team 1 can generate new images and content, which means it can do things like create LinkedIn posts for you, where the team can go away, do research into your topic, and then create the copy for a LinkedIn post. And that team will also include this really engaging image for you to use in that post. And then the second use case is to create a YouTube script. So this team can go out, research your topic of choice. It can then create the script for you as well as the YouTube thumbnail. So hopefully these two use cases will open up your mind to different use cases. But essentially Team 1 is equipped to do research on your topic of choice to then create some kind of content or copy or script for you to use. And then also the image that you can use with that. So again, the LinkedIn post image or a YouTube thumbnail. And then for Team 2, we've got this use case over here. So it's modify my product image. Now, let's say you're an e-commerce store and you've got product images, but you want to run a sale and you want to overlay some kind of text or just kind of jazz up that picture. Well, you can insert the image into the Team 2. Team 2 will take that image and then reproduce it for you based on your given instructions. So the underlying concept that we're showing in this video is actually the OpenAI API for generating images and for editing images. So for that, we're using OpenAI's latest image generating model, which if we scroll down, it's the GPT-image-1. So what you might be more familiar with is about a month ago, OpenAI introduced the 4.0 image generation for ChatGPT, which meant that you can open up a regular chat window in your ChatGPT and then just use plain English prompting to generate like really high quality images like this. And you could also use that model to do different things like create characters in different textures, also do really high quality text rendering where the text on the images is absolutely perfect. You could turn sketches into real images into sketches, and create little buttons, stickers, emojis, all sorts of different things. And that's what we're trying to tap into in the AI Image Studio, because as we've just seen, OpenAI gives us access to a really powerful API. One to generate images and one to edit images. So the intention behind the AI Image Studio is to create two teams that can actually leverage the full power of these API calls. So let me just quickly speak about the underlying API calls. So we're over in the OpenAI API documentation. Now we're going to come back to this a little bit later when we're actually going through the nodes one by one, especially the HTTP nodes. But Team 1 actually uses the create image API call, which is this over here, which has the /generations endpoint. And if I click into Team 1's OpenAI API call, just double click it to open it, you can see we're using that endpoint over here. So it's the exact same thing we just saw. It's the /generations endpoint. Now, if I scroll down a little bit more in the documentation, we have another endpoint over here, which is called the create image edit. This endpoint actually takes an existing image and a description of what change you want to make, and then it returns an edited image. So this uses the /edits endpoint, and back in n8n, let's tap into Team 2's OpenAI API call. So double click on this node, and you can see we're using the /edits endpoint. So I just wanted to clarify that Team 1 and Team 2 are using the same OpenAI image model, but there's two distinct endpoints that have two distinct functionalities. Now let me run through a couple of workflows with you. So when we're using this workflow, we're actually doing that by submitting a form. We submit a form, then we have a little switch router here, which will either take us to Team 1 if we want to generate brand new content like a LinkedIn post or a YouTube script and thumbnail, or it'll plug us into Team 2 if we provide an image and want to make an edit to that image. So clicking on test workflow, we're going to open up the form, and let me just readjust this. Okay, awesome. So I'm going to choose on create a LinkedIn post, and I'm going to request content about 3 ways that we can use AI technology in cars. Now I'm not going to be uploading a file because I want a brand new image generated for me. And I'm going to hit submit, and then we route it up into our switch router here, which distinguishes between, all right, is this a LinkedIn post or is it a YouTube agent? And this switch block over here holds the prompt for this AI agent. So this AI agent is dynamic. And as you can see here, we're using web search, so it's researching the topic of using AI in cars. Once it's ready, we're going to be parsing the output of this AI agent, which is going to include the actual content for the LinkedIn post as well as the prompt for the image generation. So now we're actually generating that image. I'm going to return back when it's finished in about 10-20 seconds. Awesome, so we're done. So after we generate the image in the API call, we convert the file into something that we can actually send across in Gmail. So I'm using Gmail now to collect all of my information, but you can either plug this into a Google Drive to upload it directly there for another stage of like a human in the loop for review, or you can directly post it onto LinkedIn, whatever you want to do. So here's the output in my Gmail. So I've got the actual post for LinkedIn, which includes, as requested, 3 different ways we can use AI in cars. It also includes the URLs where I got the information from. And then if I open up this image, And this is the image that was generated. As you can see, it's super crisp, very realistic. It's of a Tesla and it's very like techie on the inside. So I think it's perfect for the LinkedIn post. And now let's give a task to team 2. So I'm going to go and choose modify my product image. And I know before I gave the example of imagine we're an e-commerce store and we want to run a sale. So we want to put some kind of salesy text on an image. But since team 2 is dynamic, I'm just going to upload the photo that we had before. And I want to optimize this for that LinkedIn post. I'm just going to ask it to put some extra text here that reads something like 3 ways to use AI in your car. And that's what I've got over here. So I've got add text that says 3 ways to use AI in your car. And I've just clicked on choose files and uploaded that file. So now let's hit submit. And now we have the on-form submission. We're routing across to team 2. We're pre-analyzing that image with the OpenAI image analysis node over here, which is going to read the input image that we had and plug it in to give additional context to this AI agent. The AI agent is then going to take our request from the form, so to add that text onto the image to overlay it, as well as the additional context from this OpenAI node. It's going to run through the entire process over here. And as you can see, we're editing the image. So I'm going to pause this and come back in about 10-20 seconds when it's done. Awesome. So just like before in team 1's flow, after we generate the image, we convert it into a file format that we can then use in Gmail. And here's the edited image. So we have our text overlaid on the top, 3 ways to use AI in your car. So here's a side-by-side of the image. This is the original image that we plugged into team 2. And this is what team 2 gave us. So yes, there are a little bit of imperfections. So predictive maintenance, and then this is just gibberish. But overall, the car, like the inside, the interior, looks 90% the same. We could definitely improve the prompting that we're using for this. So maybe team 2's agent has to just be, updated, or maybe just specialized in how it actually edits images. But it did what we wanted. We wanted text that reads 3 ways to use AI in your car. And this is going to be super specific for our LinkedIn post, which is literally about 3 ways to use AI in your car. So now let me go through each node one by one. I'm going to have this template available on my Gumroad, so you can just find that link in the description of this video. But at a high level, we're creating an on-form submission. And the on-form submission is very basic. As we saw before, we have an initial dropdown, which just gives us 3 different use cases. This is where you would populate all of your use cases for image generation. You would create one for like LinkedIn posts, YouTube subscriptions, YouTube scripts, modifying product images, regenerating certain images. And then you can collect what other information you want over here. So I've just got an instructions on like, all right, what kind of content or what kind of edits you want to make. Then I've got the ability to upload a file. So this is what we need for team 2. We then have the switch router over here. And all we're looking for over here is to see if the option from the on-form submission equals to modify my product image. So this is a very basic switch router. If it's not modifying a product image, we know it's going directly to team 1 because team 1 does the new content generation. But if it is equal to modify my product image, it's going to go down to team 2. And then we have another switch router, which is just distinguishing between what's the actual task we want to do. So we had a LinkedIn post or a YouTube script. And depending on what the actual option is from the form, we then set the prompt for the AI agent using these 2 set nodes. So inside this AI agent, you'll find no actual hard-coded prompt. It's just a variable. And that variable is set within these specific set nodes. So if you click these open, you'll see that there's an actual entire prompt over here. If I expand this, this is the prompt that goes in, and this is for the LinkedIn agent. So this specific text is literally going to be carried over and plunked into this agent. If we're choosing the LinkedIn tool, or if we want to use the YouTube tool, it's going to take this route. It's going to take the prompt for YouTube, which is over here. You can read through this later on, and it's going to plug it into the AI agent. Now, one thing I will say is that we've only got 2 use cases for team 1. If you have like 5, 10, 20 use cases, you probably want to rebuild this and just beef it up, because right now each use case has a separate set block, but maybe you just have a database, like an Airtable database of all your use cases and all the prompts built in. So then instead of having, one node per each use case, you just have one database node, and then you would just switch between finding the prompt that you need and then plugging it into your AI agent. And then for the AI agent, we just spoke about the dynamic prompt. And then for the user message, we're just inputting what we had from that form submission. So where it said, what would you like done? That custom text that we put in, those are the instructions for this AI agent. And then we have this code node over here. So this AI agent for both the LinkedIn tool or the YouTube tool, it's instructed to output a JSON object that has 2 key value pairs. So it's always going to output a prompt that we then place into this API call to generate an image. And then it's always going to output a long text field. So for the LinkedIn agent, that's the actual body of the LinkedIn post, or for YouTube, that's the script. So the code node just parses the output from the AI agent, and then it plugs the prompt into this API call. And to dig into this API call, now, like I mentioned before, we're using the /generations endpoint. So this is for creating brand new images. And I'm just going to show you quickly that. So the model that we're using is the GPT-image-1 model. That's what I mentioned at the start of the video. So that's that new GPT 4.0 model that we had in ChatGPT, but now this is the API version. And in order for us to be able to use this to have like the best quality image generation and image editing, we actually have to verify our OpenAI account. So you have to go to platform.openai.com. If you don't already have an account, then you're going to need this account in order to use the API in general. But if you already do have an account, go across to your general tab and then find this section over here where it says verifications and just follow this process. Now, the next thing for us to do is to authenticate. So I'm using the predefined credential type of OpenAI. Now, a quick note is that the API key that you have here, it's not going to work if you've created it before you did that validation that I just showed you. Because now that you've done the validation, you have to go back, generate a brand new API key, and that new API key will be validated to work with this image generation model. So if you're following these instructions and you're like, oh, I just did the validation, why is it still not working? It's because your OpenAI account, you have to just go into here and just edit the actual API key and then it'll work. Now scrolling down, we get into the thicker things with the actual API call itself. So back in the OpenAI documentation for the create image API call, all we're doing is we're actually just breaking down this curl request, which is just a specific format of making an API call, and we're placing it into that HTTP node. So we have the endpoint, which is what I pointed out before. We have authorization, which we're already doing with the credentials in n8n, but we need content type for application JSON. And then in our body of the request, we have model, and then we have our prompt, and then we have the size of the image we want to generate. And there's a bunch more settings that we can actually use when we're creating this API call. I'm going to keep this video short and not go into this, but if you guys want to have like a deep dive into how to set up HTTP nodes in n8n, just drop a comment below. But back in n8n, if I just scroll down, you can see that we have the header of content type and application JSON, just like before. And then we have the JSON body, and we have model, where we're defining the model. We have prompt, which is going to be coming out of the AI agent. And then we have size, and that size is coming out from the set fields block when we're choosing LinkedIn or YouTube. So the size is a little bit different for both. LinkedIn's going to have a square and YouTube will have a bit more of a rectangular size. And then from here, we're just converting the output of the HTTP node. So we're accessing the output, which is the image that we want to use. And then we're converting it into a format that we can use for Gmail. And then in Gmail, we're just sending the output of this overall Team2 workflow across to our email account. I've got a predefined subject over here, which is your image is ready. And then I'm pasting in the copy from the AI agent. And I'm also attaching a field here by using these add option. And that field, this data name, is just the image that was output from that previous node. So that was a run through of Team 1. And now for a run through of Team 2. So if we're going to be editing existing images, we actually also upload an image into this workflow. And the first thing that we're doing is we're breaking down that image using this analyze image operation from the OpenAI account. And I've just got a very basic text input here, but you can definitely beef this up. And I'm just saying what's in this image. And as you can see from the previous example that we just ran, we had an image of a car, and you can see it's got modern interior and just describes the actual image. And then we're passing the description into the AI agent. So the AI agent has both a description of the actual image, which I'm denoting the start and end points using XML tags, which, by the way, when you're prompting large language models, they actually respond very well to using XML tags. So for the user's request of what to modify, this is just from the input form. And again, just XML tags to differentiate and say, this is the start and the end of the user's request. So we're inputting that as a user message for the AI agent. And then to open up here, the actual prompt, you're an AI image modification agent. I'm not going to read through it entirely, but the main thing we're getting out of here is the prompt that we're going to be putting into the HTTP node. So after we get that prompt from the agent, just like before, we have a code node where we process that JSON and pull out the actual prompt value. Now, the reason that we're using this merge step over here is because when we have this switch step, we only have the file that we've uploaded from that form accessible at this step over here. So when we process that file, we've just had access to it. And now as soon as we get to the AI agent, that file does not actually carry through the entire workflow. So we've got a merge node over here, which is taking the file, which is available over here. So in this node, we've got the file available from the on-form submission. And we're just carrying that file literally from here, carrying it through, and we're merging it and making it available at this code node. Now this code node is taking the input, both inputs of that merge node. So input 1 is the file and input 2 is the actual prompt from the AI agent. And it's concatenating them, like flattening them into an object that we can access both at one time. So the merge node sometimes will just give you either one object or the other. So this sequence is basically making that attached file and the prompt from the AI agent accessible for this HTTP node. So now when I open up this edit image API, you can see that we immediately have that file that we can access, because we actually need this when we're making this API call, so we can generate that edit. So over here, we're using the /edits endpoint, just like I mentioned before. We don't have to re-authenticate the OpenAI account because we've just done that for team 1. And scrolling down, just like before for the API call, we have content type application JSON. But if I scroll down here, there is something different with this create image edit. So this endpoint is slightly different to above because it uses a different body type. So above we had a JSON body that we can just import and have our fields. But since we're going to be attaching an actual file to this API call, we have to use a different type of body. So you can see over here, we have a similar setup to before. So the post endpoint is using the edits endpoint. Then we have our authorization, but we're already authenticating using the credentials that we had. And then over here for our body, we've got a different format than before. So again, we're not using JSON. We have to change the body format. So we're going to actually handle an uploaded image into the API call. But at a high level, we see we have model, we have the image that we're attaching, and this actually has a bunch of images that it's using. And then we have the prompt that we're attaching as well. So actually, I don't think I need this header over here because we're not using application JSON content type. We're actually using form data. So you just need to drop down, choose form data. And then you can see here, we have the model, which is GPT image 1, like we had in a previous API call. And then we have the prompt, and the prompt is coming from that code node, but it's overall coming from the AI agent step. And then we have the final n8n binary file. So that's what we're using to actually upload the image. So in our case, it was like the interior of the Tesla, and we're uploading it over here. So the settings specifically are n8n binary file, image, and then the square brackets like this. And that's coming directly from the API. So it's the image and square brackets. And then we have upload file spelled like that because upload file is spelled like this over here. And then we're taking the output of the HTTP node, so that re-edited image, and then we're pasting it into here. We're converting it into a format that we can use for Gmail. And just like above, we're sending the edited image into our Gmail inbox. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching up until the end. I really appreciate it. Once again, you can download this workflow from my Gumroad. The link will be in the description of this video. And while you're here, can you please like the video? Can you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already? And can you drop a comment as well? It'll really help my channel keep growing. Really appreciate your support so far. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the workflow. See ya.